Um, well, it's the finish to our finals week here. It's always an exhausting week, with school. A little bit different this year with the schedule and whatnot. But when you add in all the testing protocols and finals, we've tried to be mindful of our guys and tried to keep them fresh this week as we head into the Butler game. And finishing up this week, we're obviously very excited to get back to playing. I think that's important, and we got a lot for Butler. We have a lot of respect for this event. It will definitely feel different without the crowd. I think that's what makes it so special. So that's a little disappointing, but all in all, like I said, when you're playing against Butler, tremendous amount of respect for those guys. And we know the game is going to be absolutely a bear. And it's a great non-conference opponent for us as we finish up our non-conference slate. Be able to get all 7 non-conference games before we head to the conference, was essential to us. And feel like our schedule strength is as good as anyone in the country. And it's prepared us for the long grind. So we're excited to play, though, get back to work and get back on the floor.
Alex.
Archie, I'm just curious your thinking in terms of the Crossroads Classic. It's going into its 10th year now. Is this something you see continuing for the foreseeable future as you look forward in the years to come in terms of the non-conference schedule?
I'm not sure. There's been a lot of talk around it with the leagues around America, in particular the ACC, in particular the Big Ten going to 20. I think there's been some real discussion that the Crossroads could be, something that's very hard to pull off. In dealing with the games and understanding how special they've been and the environment is, it's obviously something that, we'd like to keep ourselves in the picture, especially in Indianapolis, Bankers Life. So we'll see how it goes. But, obviously we're committed to it till it finishes, and then we'll have to see what every team's going to do when they're in there, what's best for them. But we're also going to have to do what's best for us. And non-conference scheduling strength, flexibility and whatnot, has all been, in play. And this year obviously is a little different, but as we head into the next couple years and setting up our schedules and trying to get marquee home and away games as this pandemic ends and some things like that, there's going to be a lot of talk and discussion with it. But, we're in it until it's not anymore, or, we'll see what we can do. But Indianapolis is definitely a part of our philosophy in terms of scheduling and being in Bankers Life.
Jeff.
Hey, Coach. You guys have already played 4 teams that are projected to be in the NCAA tournament, but you have a defense that's ranked top 10 in the country in Bart Torvik right now. What have been the keys in your mind to your defense being this good right out of the gate against quality competition?
We spent some time on our system here in the off season. We have some versatility to it this year that we haven't had in the past. And I just think in general, we have some guys really working on that end of the floor. I think it's been well documented that, Armand's really taken it a step up defensively. He's given us another backcourt guy out there to really trust. Rob's been solid since he's been here, but, to have 2 guys out there solidly on defense, especially on the perimeter, has helped us. And we have some, like I said, some versatility. Race has been one of our best team defenders here in the last year and a half. He really helps the communication and the physicality and keeping Trace, more importantly, keeping Trace, in a mode where he's not running around guarding a lot of, different types of players. As a freshman, he guarded a lot of 4s with another big on the floor, which gave us some problems at times. So we're a little bit more versatile, and I think we have a better system to adjust. And I think we have some guys doing a nice job individually. Our effort level has been good. Our physicality and our finishing ability hasn't been as good as it needs to be. And that's something we've talked a lot about here in the last couple of weeks, especially finishing possessions on the glass. It's one of our big weaknesses. And we're going to have to keep getting better. I don't pay attention to the statistics or the rankings or anything like that. I know we're going to have to hang our hat on that. I know it's going to have to be a part of what we're doing. And right now, being solid on that end of the floor has given us a chance early in the season versus good teams, to have a chance hopefully to to be at the game to win the game as you work through different lineups and combinations and whatnot. And I also think our rotation helps. We're not playing 11 guys. Our younger players are having a chance to work against good teams and get sped up in their process in terms of their improvement. And as they get better, we'll get better. But I would just say, Jeff, if you ask me, I think we have more versatility. I think we have some guys individually that have improved, and I think we're a little bit more sound. We have a long way to go, though, and Butler's definitely going to challenge us on Saturday in a different way.
Thanks, man.
Tom.
Archie, are you at all surprised that you made it through all 7 non-conference games, be able to play every one and not have to worry about starts and stops yourself, especially when you see what's going on around the country, other places?
Yes, I mean, I think we have our fingers crossed every time we hit a game week and we start to, obviously go through our own protocols here. The fact that we've played a lot of our games away from home has been one of the big things that's been really nerve-wracking. As you get ready to go to the Maui event, you're just not sure how that's going to work with 8 teams in one venue. And I think I said this after, but the Maui event was an unbelievable blueprint for how you can be successful in those type of situations. And, hopefully the NCAA tournament and whatnot can communicate with those guys because, you had all 8 teams, one spot, one hotel, testing every day, everyone away from one another. Very rarely did you have interaction with other groups of people. And I thought being able to pull that off was monumental. I mean, just an unbelievable task. As you get done with that, you have to go on the road and play against Florida State. You cross your fingers on that one that you don't have any problems. In Florida State being able to be in a good situation. So us playing that one, we got good. Our 2 home games, with Tennessee Tech and also North Alabama, I mean, it's right up until game day. I mean, you just basically wait and cross your fingers that there's nothing happen. So we've been very fortunate in that regard. And I think as we head into this one, Butler, I know, has been through the gambit here in the last 3 or 4 weeks, which has been unfortunate for them. They got back on the floor on Wednesday, not at full strength, but they did get back on the floor. So it looks to me like they have a unit that, is continuing to get healthier and better, which is good for those guys. And looks like Saturday will be a go unless, something happens between now and then. But, our guys have tried to stay diligent in what we're doing. I give our medical team, the Big Ten, a lot of credit on what they're requiring us to do. And it's kept us on our toes. But no question about it. I mean, it's the luck of the draw. There's teams that have missed 4 and 5 games that have had to reschedule and cancel. And we've been lucky in that regard that we've been able to pull ours off. And I think that will go a long way as we head into, conference play. As I look at our league, I think the Big Ten in general, I don't know if a Big Ten team since basketball has started has paused game action. If they've had games missed, it seems to be something on the other side. So to me, it's a great sign that as we finish up this week and head into conference, knock on wood that we probably will deal with some hiccups. But in general, it looks like our league is set up to have a full slate and get a great conference season in with the best league in the country.
Bob?
Yeah, to follow up on Tom's question, could you speak to the sacrifices and the discipline that your guys have shown, in the past couple of months, just to make it possible for you guys to play these games without any stoppages?
It's taxing. It's very taxing, especially for young people. I mean, we're up every morning. Realistically, since the beginning of, middle of September, beginning of October, and then practice starting, we're up every morning. And everyone in our group is testing between 7:30 in the morning and 8 o'clock every day. And I think you guys know, for young guys to have a schedule like that every single day where you're getting up in the morning every day to come and get tested, it wears on you. It's early mornings. You got a lot going on with school. You got practices and whatnot. But our guys have hung in there every day. Tim Garl, Larry Rink, our administration, has continued to emphasize how important it is to not miss, to not have slip-ups. And then obviously it keeps you on your toes. I mean, it really does. You got to try and be diligent with what you're doing off the floor, because you know what a positive can lead to moving forward, especially in the Big Ten with the stringent protocols that go into our league. and what that requires our guys to do. But it's taxing mentally more than anything. It's a lot of early mornings, 7 days a week. To me, it has to be done. But it also, it goes a long way in terms of your team wanting to be successful. And, the better you handle some of these things that you're being asked to do that aren't the most comfortable, the better you're going to be in terms of having a successful opportunity to complete your season to the best you can. And not that we're not going to deal with problems like every other team in the country, but it's definitely something that I think is an added element of stress, weight, anxiety every day that you got to do it. And, to me, those early mornings, every single day, 7 days a week now, heading into months at a time, you get used to it. But at the same time, man, it's not the normal deal where you got a day off every day for the guys and, they get to sleep in or one of those deals. I mean, it's crack of dawn. And, like today, I mean, we're already finished with our first round and we're going to practice here in a little bit. And we're going to have another round here at 8 o'clock tonight. We'll do it twice. And tomorrow morning, obviously it's an early game. So, but it's something that needs to be done. And we all know it's very, very important. And I just can't say this enough that the Big Ten, their care and their extra thought process and what's going on has set our players in our league up from a basketball perspective to have a great chance at consistency, at good seasons, at safety. And it's unprecedented, but it's also something that, needs to be done.
Thanks.
Last question, Zach.
When you were talking about Armand after the last game, you talked about just kind of your feeling that shooting performance, that sort of shooting performance was going to kind of become the norm for him. But how close do you think he is, maybe he's already there in your mind, to the rebounding performances, the defensive performances, that element of his game also being something that you can pretty much count on consistently?
That's the thing that I think we stress the most with Armand, and as the beginning of the season all through the end. It's very little about his offense as much as it is about the consistency on how he can help us win in so many other ways. And he's grabbed onto that. He's, like an offensive player with his shot. I also think a defensive player preparing the right way every single day, and a guy that understands his role, does it every day, gets confidence in doing that. And Armand here early in the year has worked through a role. He's sort of, embraced a couple things here early that's going to help our team. He's shown how effective it is in our wins. And I think that's played a role in his confidence that he's out there playing the game the right way. He shot the ball particularly well here last game, and it was great to see because he's spending a lot of time on that as well. And guys that work like he does, deserve that opportunity to see some of those rewards. I think Armand's one of the most improved players, not only from last year, but from the beginning of this year into month after month that our league has, and in particular, especially our team has. And he can continue to grow. He really can. He can continue to evolve. And, I feel like Armand, if his mind is right, because he's such an intelligent kid and he's so smart in terms of his IQ, that as he continues to embrace the little things, as he continues to take pride in those things, some of the other things that stand out on a stat sheet will start to evolve even more. But he's playing a big role on this team. He's very, very important to our team's success. He's evolved into a guy that I think we can rely on, not only on both ends of the floor, but a guy in big moments to put the ball in his hands as well. He's shown the ability to drive, get fouled. He's shown the ability to score in different ways, but he's also been very accountable in terms of me as the coach and our staff of not worrying about him, getting the job done in other areas. He's rebounding the ball at an extremely high rate for a defensive guard, which is huge for this team. He's defending other teams' best players at times and doing a great job. And to me, we've got to continue to evolve him on offense and put him in a situation to be more successful, because I think he's also starting to grow on that end too.
Thanks.
All right, Coach, thank you. And like I say, guys, we'll have some